When all your friends are dead or gone, drown in a swamp of literal human filth, the only friend you'll still have, the only lifeline, will be Audible.com. Audible.com is the only place where you can get a free audiobook just by going to audibletrial.com/bonfireside chat. There's no saint or knight that can provide you with that. So trust your only friend. audibletrial.com/bonfireside chat. We promise not to drown you in human waste. That's the Audible guarantee.
Some of our landings were desperate adventures. We are now prepared to meet the inevitable counterattacks with power and with confidence.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Kole Ross.
And I'm Dennis Furia.
And you're listening to Bonfireside Chat Appendix. It is an Undead Second Favorite,
where we ask you to reach out and touch the demon inside of us. And this week we are asking for your responses to World 5-1 of Demon's Souls, the beginning of the Valley of Defilement. We are recording at kind of a strange time because of the Thanksgiving holiday, so we don't have that many responses, but responses we shall read.
So if you're hearing this and you're like, oh, I didn't even get a chance to talk about it, just talk about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Send it. It's Duckfeed.tv/contact.
Yeah. 3 years down the road, like we're old and gray and we're doing totally different shows about future souls and demon thrust and all these things, and you still haven't thought about the Valley of Defilement? Lay it on us, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll still take it.
We will still entertain your notions. Speaking of entertaining notions, thank you for sticking around, Dennis.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, this has been a great time. So happy to spend a little more time on it.
Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and get us started here with Billy. Billy says via contact. And this is errata. This is a comment on the last episode. In episode 22, Bob Mackey mentioned he wasn't sure where the old hero boss arena was situated in relation to the rest of the level. The second pass on the cliff side passage, the one that starts with the Storm Beast corpse pile, you'll enter a fog wall. The arena is in this cavern. I think it's easiest to see from the bridge with the Grim Reaper enemy tucked away in the corner and the corpse with the dagger. When you reach the corpse, look to your right. You'll see the old hero. When leaving this room, you actually run right behind him. I had no idea.
Huh.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Everything kind of blends in those crypts for me.
Yeah, and also like they're kind of designed not to give you a chance to stop and look around. Yeah. Until you kill those Grim Reapers, like you're constantly being stalked. And there's regenerating enemies. So, yeah, it never really occurred to me to kind of look around and figure that out.
Right.
Well, and you just assume because you're in caves that it's all going to be kind of enclosed caverns and dark walls. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Billy.
Yes.
All right.
So moving into the responses, we have Nick Byrne, who writes in via Facebook. The level has a pungent atmosphere that pervades the TV screen and enters your living room. It's terrifying even before you get to the beaked enemies, whose faces, I believe, are based on plague doctors from the 17th and 18th century. They used to fill their beaks with perfumes to try to protect themselves from the putrid air. But nothing can save you in the Valley of Defilement. There isn't an area in either Souls game that makes your skin crawl with the sheer rottenness of it all. And in that accurate and geographically complicated depiction of the most unpleasant place you could ever be, somehow it all seems beautiful.
Nice, well written.
Yeah. Well written. I don't know if I get to the conclusion. I think that it is just entirely objectionable the whole way through.
Yeah. Like I find it compelling.
Yeah.
I always talk about I love all my children. Like I find it compelling and interesting, and I like the gameplay and lore aspects of it. It never does seem beautiful to me. And in fact, like the whole area not being beautiful, I think is, I keep hinting at it, but, my grand reading of the ending being, is the world worth saving? This is like Exhibit A and no, the world isn't. Like the world is shit and people suffer all the time and it's, it's really nasty out there. Like let's let the old one come and fuck shit up. Because this is what this is what we have to lose. Like, yeah. But, and the plague doctor thing is interesting. I'm not saying it to be mean. There was a guy who, walked around my hometown who had, some real severe facial deformities going on that looked a little bit like a depraved one. Like his face, his nose was elongated and lumpy, and he had like some growths on his face that jutted out in kind of the same way. And just kind of walk around town, and that's what these guys kind of look like to me. And I never talked to him. I feel bad for the dude. I'm not talking down to him. I guess like one of my friends worked with him. He worked at a telemarketing place, and he was a big drinker. Like he was just drunk a lot, which makes sense. But that's what they look like to me. Mm-hmm. That's my first instinct when I see one of these things is that specific guy.
I always think of moles for some reason when I see them. I agree with I think this place does a better job of the whole skin crawling thing than the Great Swamp. Like this is more disgusting. Does a better job just having that ick factor.
Well, partly because it has a story to it, right? Like it is a place where like it's explicitly like where everything just kind of goes, and there are missionaries that go here. And such. And I guess there's a story to the Great Swamp where you learn about it becoming poisoned because of, Ingi and stuff. Ingi. But you don't get that right away. Whereas you go into this, like when you're actually experiencing it, you can have it in your head, like characters will tell you what this area is. Whereas when you first run into Blighttown, you're just like, oh, what is this nonsense? And then you have to really work. Like it's really easy to even miss, Ingi. You had to really work to kind of put that together and kind of figure out where that went wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, agree.
Before anybody erratas us, that's not the Great Swamp.
Yeah.
Out there before anybody corrects Dennis.
Right. Oh yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I could also taken as a whole and looking at Maiden Estrella, I could see kind of how you could find the beauty in something like this, where she's down there, she's kind of sold out to make and do in this place, and they've got something that's sustainable. If it's not pretty, it's at least they've created a life for themselves.
Yeah, it's a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that like this is this compared to Blighttown is a very direct comparison of the storytelling styles between the two of them. And, you saying it out loud there, Gary, kind of made me realize that it is so much more direct in Demon's Souls than it is in Dark Souls. And I will always kind of prefer that mystery, even if the conclusions that you get to are a little bit more flimsy.
Oh, yeah. Like the most fun we've had on the show conjecturing about stuff has been in the two Shrine of Storms episodes. Yeah. And it's because it has, so little directly telling you. Yeah. What happened. Like, that's definitely a difference in the storytelling. And I don't know if we enumerated it as our, one of our big differences between the two in the first episode, but in searching for lore, I know we talked about the lore not being as big a factor and not being as obvious, but in the kind of experience of searching for it and really scrubbing for it, I think that has kind of borne true as a generality. Right. It's just, it is not as hidden, and it's much more, it's much what's there. There's less there, but it's easier to get. Right. And and everything I've led to, has led me to believe that Dark Souls 2 will be more in the vein of Dark Souls. Yeah. In that respect, so that makes me very happy. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. In the episode of the level where we talk about the beta of Dark Souls 2, the first question that Dennis asks is, how long did you spend reading item descriptions? Oh, yeah. It's like, of our precious limited time actually looking at this thing, I think we both spent on the order of 15 to 20 minutes just looking at everything in our inventories. Yeah. Yeah. I should find somebody who's done screen captures of all of them. Yeah. Online. I bet you that exists. I should find those and read those. Even though at this point, since I didn't do the beta, maybe I'll stick to my guns and say I want to go in fresh. Be here before we know it. Yeah, it's very soon. I got to start planning my vacation time. Yeah, and then Fallout 4 is going to come out, and just all these games I have to take time off work for. Just, Have they said anything official about Fallout 4 yet, or is it just one of those? It must be around the corner. It's a trademark filing. And there's an ARG website that has Morse code that's a date, and the date is December 11th, I think. So I think that's when they're probably going to make the announcement. Nice. It's kind of interesting. All of the rumors, when I was kind of reading threads of people guessing, where it's going to take place, everything is correct. The internet, based on what they've released so far in this kind of ARG campaign, it takes place in Boston in the Commonwealth, which they talk about in Fallout 3 is where the android is from. But everything leads us, points to that. So
Yeah.
And it's going to be Boston.
I know that they've already done like a Midwest with Fallout Tactics, but like everything they build up in Fallout 2 makes me want to be there for an actual Fallout proper.
Yeah.
I understand that Boston and DC both have distinct architecture and landscape. But
DC is not that different from Boston. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it is different. Like, somebody, could hear that and really disagree with me. But, like, I would have liked to have seen the Midwest, or, I guess they did the South with Point Lookout a little bit. But, like, or, like, I can see that being really cool. Or, like, Canada.
Yeah.
Something like that, like a country that lost a war before it happened, or Europe. Or something like that would be really interesting. I mean, it's got to, like, I guess Europe wouldn't really work with that 50s American nostalgia.
Yeah.
With that, but I would like to see somewhere that was a little bit further apart than what we've already seen.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no way I'm going to end up spending like $200 to get the whatever stupid fucking tchotchkes come with it and stuff. It's my Vietnam, so other,
And I'll stop my other stopwatch.
Yeah.
Vietnam or Fallout?
Vietnam.
Okay, so
maybe Fallout 2.
Weirdly enough, at the 2-hour mark was when we did of our recording, whereas the first one was at the 1-hour mark.
Yeah, we were on to a clockwork. Shit.
Like a Swiss watch.
All right.
Dennis, why don't you round us out with Murph?
Yeah, round us out.
Yeah, sure. Murph says via Facebook, 5'1", much like the ever-present fungus, has really grown on me. Waka waka. He says, at first it's intimidating. You can fall from anywhere. Things can fall from anywhere. All the things are poisonous, even the falling things. And then on the second run through, you realize that height can be used as a shortcut, and if you keep your distance, the enemies aren't that difficult.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest disparity between perceived difficulty of my first run and, the comfort and security, the familiarity brought to me on my second run. Yeah.
I still find 5.2 difficult.
Yeah,
like even on later runs, like not
specifically
as difficult.
5.1.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah, I agree with 5.1 for sure. Even though this was not as big a bottleneck for me in my first run through and stuff. But and even though 5.2 is not as difficult as it was the first time, like just speaking in generalities, like I would agree with you here, and then say that like that kind of slams that door shut when you get to the second one, second part. Yeah.
Kind of reinforces that knowledge is one of your greatest weapons in Demon's Souls. That just knowing what's coming next is so hugely helpful.
Yep.
It's greater than or equal to half the battle. So.
Yeah. That's Souls for you. And this one that says for next time, is that literally for next time?
Yeah, that's literally just so I had a place to keep it.
Gotcha.
So it was out of my inbox. Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Not this time.
2 weeks, Dan.
Next time. We'll get you next time, Dan.
Yeah. You done jumped the gun. Yeah.
Yep. So if you have other things to say about either 5.2, 5.3, or in general, go to duckfeed.tv /contact and share those with us.
Yep.
And we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. iTunes ratings, reviews. Tell a friend if you are turning somebody on to Dark Souls or Demon's Souls.
This holiday season.
Exactly. Probably going to be price drops and everything. So if there's somebody who's taking the plunge, recommend us as a companion piece. Who knows?
I halfway expect Cole to give me Dark Souls again for Christmas.
Nah.
You take it and like it. Do you have the PC version? Have you played Artorias of the Abyss yet?
I have, yeah. It was
good. Okay.
Yep.
Because otherwise I was going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And in addition, listen to all of our shows, of which we are all on.
Yeah.
So, Dennis, our guest, is on the level with Cole and a couple of his other friends, a video game roundtable show. It's very good.
Thank you.
Yep. Gary and I are on Abject Suffering. Watch out for fireballs. It's all good.
Yep. Cole's on Those Damn Ross Kids. He also runs Hexcrank.
Yes.
We didn't mention last episode, a survival horror blog that is well worth your checking out.
Yeah.
Your read times.
Yeah, I'm very, very proud of that project and where it is going. So we're currently towards the end of the Atari age and starting the very fertile ground of PC survival horror games and the couple of examples of horror games for the NES. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice.
Check it out, Comrade. It's going to be forever until I stop saying that, which is Gary and Nick Lauber's indie game show, and also Pilot Season, which just recently, I guess we're time shifting here, but check out the Everybody Loves Raymond episode.
Like it was me trying to be funny, but that's also literally what I hear when I listen to sitcoms. It is so dumb. Like I feel like there are only 3 sitcom plots. Like mom likes to show a picture. What was that? So mom shows baby picture and embarrasses somebody. That's it. So, that's all there is to sitcoms.
Yeah, I need to extract the Deborah. Mom, yeah.
Deborah!
as text tones. Yeah. Yeah. But then there's also the pitch, which is done and over with.
There's a backlog to it. So and it is evergreen. So
it tells a complete story.
It does. Surprisingly, we never would have thought in the beginning. Story. And go to Amazon referral link and buy all our stuff.
Yeah.
And do all the things.
Yes.
So the world might be
behind you.
Yes. Umbasa.
Umbasa. How's everyone doing?
Doing okay. Just got finished playing a bunch of Fallout.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fallout 2 still?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've played 3. I've never played any of the original ones. And listening to it, just everything you guys talk about is so cool in that episode. And I know there's probably 1,000 things that you're not touching on. So it's really making me want to go back and try it.
Yeah, they both run on Macs now. You're just going to have to. I would recommend checking out the Before I Play on it of Fallout 1 in order to know what to expect when you get in there, and also don't get tripped up on the interface, especially if you came to 3 first.
Yeah, it's turn-based
Yes.
for all intents and purposes. So it's a much slower pace.
As I have a long-standing love affair with turn-based games, so that is not a negative.
If you like tactical combat, you're going to like that a lot. However, you do not maneuver your teams. All of your teammates are AI, so it's just you, yourself, and you.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, it's not like the combat is not that different than, say, like, XCOM or something like that. They're like an old XCOM, except with just the one person. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be into reading, because there's not a whole lot of dialogue in it that's voiced. So that's the other big difference. But playing it for the show made me, I'm kind of farting around in New Vegas. I don't know how far I'll get in it, but I end up reading ahead and skipping the dialogue like more often than not in that game.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
People
maybe Mass Effect, I actually listen to the dialogue, but otherwise it's just, skip through it as quickly as possible, as fast as you can read.
Yeah, I listen for Telltale games, and that's, that's more or less it.
Yeah. It wasn't even until like Mass Effect 2 that the performances got good enough that it was worth watching it, like getting drawn in.
Yeah, and even then, everyone other than Shepard is great. I'm playing as male Shepard, so maybe that's it. But I've been consistently amazed at how bland he is able to be, even when saying things that should be like the whole scene. The way I played, I met up with Ashley and I had a romantic past with her, and it's just she's adequately voice acted, and he's just like, we used to have something, and now we do not.
Yeah, and I hate to be normative, at least, American-centric, but he is astoundingly Canadian when he talks. And he has such a flat affect that he may or may not be, like, schizoid. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, like you just, if there's a choice between... you go with Jennifer Hale every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In I played about 10 hours of the first one. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it or not, but most of the characters seem fairly bland. Like there's a couple of them that are a little bit more interesting, but your teammates, for the most part, like you've got Soldier Boy and Soldier Girl, and neither of them are that interesting. And then like the lady I haven't gotten everybody. The lady I got who's like the Technomancer, she's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the people who and then the big guy, the ogre guy, is kind of fun. But the most everybody else is pretty white bread.
Yeah. So, like, the good thing is that Garrus and Tally, who are definitely the most interesting of the characters, like the best voiced and kind of the ones like, oh, I'd like to keep you around. They stick around.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. The starter crew is definitely pretty bland. I'm struggling to remember the guys, but Miranda's has some interesting writing when you get into her loyalty quest.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily her character that's interesting. It's just the situation. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely of Ashley and Kaiden or whatever they are. He has an Aiden name. Like he's bound to be the worst.
Right.
All
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fallout definitely no pay attention to the talkie, just because, it's Bethesda syndrome. I don't know why they just. I mean, I do know why they have so much dialogue and they can't afford to compose shots for everything. But yeah, just that straight on bus shot is so disengaging. Yeah,
I don't even find the visuals that. I mean, I think that most of the random NPCs are not very. They just don't have that much. That interesting of things to say.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where if you voice everybody and you're going to be able to talk to anybody,
yeah, you're
going to get a lot of kind of low cards in that deck. And I've found that to be true of every game with complete voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
So there are characters in the 3D Fallouts who have voice acting I really love.
Yeah.
And kind of things they say that are really interesting, but it's not the norm.
Yeah. Like Arcade Ganon and what's her name? Fallout lady with the power fist.
Oh, Veronica.
Yeah. Really, I really enjoy both of them.
She's great. I like Raul a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's real fun. Like most of the NPCs are pretty good, I think. But and then some of the characters you run into. I have a real soft spot for Fantastic. That guy's real fun to talk to.
Yeah.
If you ever ran into him.
Thank you for the book.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I flipped through it idly last night as I was falling asleep. I didn't begin in earnest because I am currently in the middle of the new Walking Dead trade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a coworker who's been giving me those in issues, so
okay.
I've been being able to keep up that way.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, the book, like the all of the President Garfield stuff I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, and like the thing I like about that guy and how he does writes is that they're very they're factual accounts. Like there's very little voice in them, so it kind of has a different feel to it. Like you kind of have to fill in the blanks, and it's not sensationalized at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jack the Ripper chapter is probably the best one in the book, and it's there's like a guy who was alive at the time and was following the news stories.
Yep.
And such, and just kind of keeping an account of like what's going on and what his theories were.
Mm-hmm.
It's really compelling.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The art is very nice too.
Yeah, I love Rick Gary. Yep. Have you read From Hell?
No.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah, I was aware of the movie.
Yeah, the movie's not so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, From Hell's really good. I owe myself a reread.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's Alan Moore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only more I've read is Watchmen.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, good stuff. Comics are good. When they're not, except for when they're not. And then you die.
Yep.
Comics are good, and then you die. It's real good. Have either of you guys played Contrast? Yeah, I think it's free for PlayStation Plus people, and I'm curious about it, but I don't want to invest in it because, like, I hear things that sound amazing, but the kind of scores are universally mediocre.
Like, is it a PS3 thing or is it only PS4?
No, I think I don't know where it is on Sony, but it's multi-platform. I read a thing about it today that said it was free for PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's actually true, or I haven't investigated it myself.
So I have not gone into to check out the new games yet recently.
No.
I'm actually getting to the point of the year where I need to re-up my subscription, but I think it might just be PS4.
Cool. Yeah.
Which is, there's nothing about that game that would demand it be on a next-gen system.
Yeah,
so.
it's Windows, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and
Oh,
360.
good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, give it a shot, just so, and then tell me if the bad parts are. Be my. Let me be the canary in the coal mine for me, and tell me if it's worth my $15.
Yeah.
If it outweighs the bad.
I will happily do so. I love novel ideas, and this seems like one of them. So.
Oh yeah, like it's a cool, super cool concept, art direction. Like everything looks like it's firing on the levels they need it to, but the just people say it's real janky and shitty.
The main character looks like cosplay.
That's true. That is like Flapper cosplay, like Halloween parade cosplay,
like Mad Moxie cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right. Do you guys want to get started?
Yes, let's do that.
Chili to make.
The chili.
Nice.
I will not stand in between a man and his chili.
That's what I do now. One batch of chili a week.
Yep,
Yeah.
I do. I have chili month, or like
really?
a chili day every month where I make just a fuckload of chili.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gives me
We had
one chili meal a week.
We had a garden in our backyard that we planted tomatoes in, and just nothing. And then one day, towards the end of the season, they just all came at once. And so it's like, well, we're never going to be able to use all this. What should we do? Chili. And so we have 3 gigantic just freezer bags of chili that will probably be around for years to come. But it stays good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and good chili is really hard to come by here.
Yeah, meat sauce.
Yeah.
That's one part of Cincinnati I will not defend.
Good.
Oh, the Cincinnati chili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not best.
It's good on hot dogs. Like that's what it's for.
Yeah, it's a meat sauce.
Yeah, you do like a Coney Island. That's like Coney Island, like hot dog Coney sauce is just meat chili.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good that way, but
But
not
for
good
any
on
other
its own.
purpose, no.
yeah.
Yeah, but people eat it that way, and it's real gross.
Again, throw it on a burger. Dip something in it. Like, yeah, I don't think there's any sauces that you should just eat like with a spoon.
Yeah, it's too sweet too. I don't know.
I'd say, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say that it's okay to eat hollandaise sauce with a spoon.
That's practically.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I was going to say I will
Thank
not.
you for trying to be like not
diplomatic.
just immediately diplomatic about what it is.
You'll be dead in a couple of years. I'm understanding.
Yeah.
So I am repulsed by anything mayonnaise based. Including like ranch dressing. I will not. I will brook no mayonnaise. So hollandaise immediately disgusts me. However, I know enough that I need to conceal my mayonnaise hate because people are like, why? It's like, well, it's just gross. I don't know.
Well, all mayonnaise
what
things
about
are gross by themselves.
Yeah,
but
and on stuff.
Hollandaise sauce is great. That's interesting. I never thought about that before. Like I knew that you didn't like mayonnaise, but you can have a burger without mayonnaise. You can't have like an Eggs Benedict.
Right.
So Cole's never had and never will have an Eggs Benedict.
Right.
Interesting.
There are many number of egg based dishes that I will eat. None of which have sentimental value to me. Yeah, but yeah, Eggs Benedict, no. Cannot do.
And we all pray that we will have far more soon